This video is brought to you by 3, bringing you 4G at no extra cost.
Hey guys, welcome to BTech. It's Basil here with the Samsung Galaxy Alpha. Now the Alpha got an unboxing video yesterday and we really liked it on first impression, largely because that metal frame adds a premium element that we've not seen on Samsung devices to date, not even the flagships. What else can you expect from the Alpha? What have we discovered 24 hours in? Well, we're going to kick off telling you more about that design, and you can see one thing we didn't cover is those really nice subtle tweaks to the chamfered edges and the indent on the top left and right hand side. They do really add a nice premium element, and when you're holding it in the hand, your finger very comfortably falls in that slot. A design element that we weren't so fond of was that the speaker. Very easy to cover up, and you can cover up the sound pretty much completely if you simply place your thumb over that point. There are real highs and lows. The design is a real high. The user interface is nice and zippy. That octa-core processor seems to benchmark well, but we'll kick off by telling you a little bit more detail about that look and feel. On the front, it's a 2 megapixel camera front facing, some sensors, and that display. Display is 720p, 4.7 inches, so a reasonable size, and it's a very good screen to bezel ratio on this thing. Opening up the applications tray and swiping through, you can see everything looks very smooth in terms of transitions. The AMOLED screen pops very nicely. Even though it isn't the sharpest out there, at 4.7 inches it should be ample. This thing really feels like a phone more than a little computer in your pocket, but at the same time it can do everything a little computer in your pocket can do. You've also got a home button below the screen, 2 capacitive buttons either side, one being a multitasking button and one being a back button. On the right hand side, we've already mentioned that little dip in there is a really nice design element and also works nicely in terms of supporting that in-hand feel. You've also got a power button. Down at the base, that speaker we weren't so fond of, a micro USB connector and an in-call speaker too. Left hand side, volume buttons, or volume rocker even. Up at the top is a 3.5mm jack, and you can see there's no infrared blaster on here. That's something we didn't cover yesterday. It looks like there are dual microphones for audio recording, so should expect some half decent sound on the video recorded from this thing. You can see the back also in this better light has no real texture to it in terms of the dappling that you had on the S5, but it's a really nice, rich, soft touch material. Definitely the best feeling back that we've seen from Samsung to date. You've got that 12 megapixel rear-facing camera, the heart rate monitor, which works really well. We didn't actually have the best experience with our S5 one. Maybe Samsung's updated the software on it, but this seemed to work with us. And you've also got a flash. We'll take you through some pictures that we took on this thing in a short while. Before we do though, we can prise open that back cover, and it's very plasticky, very bendy, but very thin as well. It's a very solid device. Samsung phones have tended to feel a little bit hollow in the past, but not this one. You've got an 1860 or 1830 milliamp battery, can't remember specifically, a nano SIM card slot, and no micro SD expandability, interestingly. The reason for that is you've got 32 gig of onboard memory on here. It seems like Samsung really is targeting a kind of iPhone user with this thing. It's an all out of the box solution. You don't really need to plug anything into it, stick anything into it in order to make it work. Now that we've clipped that in around all the sides, we can actually take a look at the user interface. And it's TouchWiz. TouchWiz, as we've come to expect from Samsung, supports a few new features, including the My Magazine UX to the left-hand side, which we aren't huge fans of, the regular home screens, and of course an applications tray. You've also got a pull down bar which has S-Finder, which searches your phone, and Quick Connect, which will connect to Wi-Fi and indeed other wireless contact points such as Bluetooth, etc. You've got a whole host of options up at the top, and you can expand these, or you can just jump straight into them with a 2-finger pull down. If we jump out of that, we can also take a look at some of the photos we've taken on the camera. Now, the camera, like we said, is 12 megapixels, so not a sensor number that megapixel number we've seen before from Samsung devices. High contrast doesn't necessarily do too great a job at actually pulling through HDR automatically, but you can still see some nice detail in there. As far as this outdoor image goes, again, some really nice detailing. It's an f2.2 lens, but we were still able to get some good macro shots. So if we take a look at this one, for example, in good lighting, you can pull out some nice background blur there. And of course, the foreground detail looks good too. We'll put it through its paces, test the flash out, etc. when we do our full review. You can also see the UI is unchanged from the S5. You've got mode selector and you can download more shooting modes, and you've also got settings and you can arrange your left hand menu to suit your needs. The actual processor in here is a Samsung Exynos 5. It's an octa, so one 1.8 gigahertz quad-core processor, one 1.3 gigahertz quad-core processor. You've also got 2 gig of RAM in here and Cat6 LTE, so this will be blisteringly fast as far as its mobile internet goes. 300 megabytes per second, one of the fastest out at the moment. And so that has been a more in-depth look at the Samsung Galaxy Alpha. We were going to talk around benchmarks, but unfortunately Antutu just fails every time. It gave a 3D benchmark score of 16757 on Ice Storm Unlimited at 720p and maxed out on the general test. So immediately you'll be able to run all of the 3D and 2D games that you would expect on here, and with that 32 gig of onboard memory, you will have plenty of place for them. If you enjoyed the video, click that like button. If you've got any questions about the Samsung Galaxy Alpha, fire them in the comments section below. And if you like BTech in general, click subscribe. You'll get more videos from the channel. Thanks for watching.